Hello, in today's video I will be showing you how to start up the A320neo when it is cold and dark and spawned in at the gate. Last episode I showed you how to create a flight plan, and that flight plan was from KSFO or San Francisco to KLAX or Los Angeles. So now we are spawned in at the gate at San Francisco, and I will show you how to start up the airplane from being cold and dark. The first thing we're going to need to do is open up the checklist tab and go to the before starting engine checklist, and we need to complete this. All of these tasks we need to complete are on the overhead panel, so I will show you a quick tip to help you do this a lot faster and easier. Go to camera, go down to the instrument tab in the cockpit section of the camera, and go to instruments 08. And that should bring you to a good view of the overhead panel. Now we need to turn on the battery of the plane, so we need to turn the battery switches on. The two battery switches are right here, so we'll turn both of these on, and this item is now completed. Next, we need to turn on the external power if available, and the external power is right here, and it says that it is available, so we'll turn that on, and we'll tick that off. Next, we need the engine generators to show on/fault displayed, and these are the engine generators right here, and fault is displayed, so we do not need to change anything, and we'll tick that item off. Next, we need to turn on the engine bleed air switches, and the engine bleed air switches are right here, and I'm turning them off, so I'll turn them back on, so we did not need to change anything. We'll tick that item off. Next, we need to turn on the Apu Master Switch, which is right down here under the APU tab, Apu Master. Turn that on, and we'll tick that item off. Next, we need to turn on the Apu Start, which is right below the Apu Master Switch, so we'll turn that on. And we need to wait for it to say Avail, which means available. So I'll tick the Apu Start off, and I'll skip ahead to when it is available. Okay, the Apu Start now says avail, so it is available, and the Apu is up and running, so we'll tick that item off. Next, we need to turn on the Apu Bleed, which is right here. We'll turn that on, and we'll tick that item off. Next, we need to turn off the external power because the Apu is on, and once we have the Apu running, we do not need external power, so we'll turn the external power up here back off. It will still say available, but it is off. We'll tick that off. Next, we need to turn on the fuel pumps, which all 6 of the fuel pumps we need to turn on are up here, fuel switch pumps. Turn all 6 of these two on, and then you have done the fuel pumps, so we'll tick that off. Next, we need to turn on the beacon light, so we got to go down to the light section down here and turn on the beacon. So we have completed the before starting engine checklist. And during any of these items, if you forget where they are, you can click this little eye and it will glow what you need to click. So that's just something if you need help. We will go back to the main area of the plane. We're facing straight ahead. And now the plane is not cold and dark and the APU is running. So next, now that the battery's on, we can contact ATC. So what we need to do is tune San Francisco ground on 121.8. And now what we need to do, since we have a flight plan, we need to request our IFR clearance. So looking at the subtitles here, I just requested San Francisco ground that I need to get my IFR clearance, and my call sign is United 1. And then they gave me all the information that I need, and now I will read that back. Now that I completed the readback, they will send back a message saying that the readback is correct and that I'm good to go. Now what we need to do with this information is we are cleared to Los Angeles Airport as filed, which is good. That's just, we gotta fly along our flight plan to set the autopilot up. We'll take off runway 1 left, so I'll take note of that. We're gonna climb and maintain 11,000 feet as our first altitude to go to, so I'm gonna go over to the autopilot and set that to 11,000. Next, we have to have a departure frequency on 135.1. I'll write that down for later. And then lastly, we have to squawk 4604, and the squawk code is just down here. It's just something to remind you all, if you read back your IFR clearance, the game will automatically put the squawk code in for you, but if that fails to work or you did not read it back, you can manually put it in with the little keypad, and then it will go into that little box, and that's your squawk code. If you followed this tutorial, you have successfully started up the plane and gotten your IFR clearance. In the next episode, I will be going over the pushback and taxi process. So, thank you all for watching, and have a good day.